July 16th, 6 o'clock p.m. 6:01 p.m., correction. First thing is Pledge of Allegiance. Can we all rise?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Roll call.
Marta Patterson. Lauren Ramirez, EDC Realtor.
Shelley Smith, Counselor.
Dina Santiago.
Marco Villegas.
Neto Bojardo. Roman Flores. And Vera Juan.
Director's report.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just a few items. Maybe you all know that next week on July 24th at 4:30, there's going to be the ribbon cutting for the Presidio Plaza. This is the plaza just north of the post office, the new one. Some donuts and a bunch of other different sweets that are there. It's going to be all of them that we do the ribbon cutting for all of these sweets. So it's going to be for the whole plaza. It'll be at 4:30. We're also looking at August the 10th. There's going to be a ribbon cutting for the Legacy Smiles grand opening, which is going to, that's the one right next to Wingstop. They're going to be there pretty much all day. They're going to do they're going to be giving some backpacks as well, like about 300 of them. Supplies, they'll be there from 12 p.m. to about maybe 4 or 5. There's going to be some chicken barbecue that they're going to be barbecuing as well. So everybody's invited to come out and be with those people. I spoke to them last week. They're excited. This is probably the first one here within the valley. They've got others, but this is the first one that they got to open up. It's locally owned, so it will be a great event for everybody to attend. It's going to be on a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, August the 10th. The other one we're waiting on is the Whataburger. This is the one that's already open to the public, not only the drive-thru but also the dining area. I'm waiting on them to say when they're going to give us a date. I know they said it was going to be like at least a couple of weeks after they do the dining, which is this week. So I said within maybe the next 2 weeks before the end of the month, we'll have a ribbon cutting there for Whataburger. This is the one that we have been waiting for, and it's finally here. I want to thank you guys for spearheading this project. I know that Mr. Villegas was always constantly calling me to call Baba. And we made it happen. I know that it was like he was calling like 11:30, 12 o'clock. Hey, I need you to call this guy because.
My hours are different than you all, so sometimes it's Whataburger late at night.
But I'm sleeping nice.
We need it. We need it.
La
Oh
hora
no,
de Marquez a las 11.
oh no, Mr. Flores. Whataburger.
So
I know I go about 3-4 times a week. Even my brother-in-law go have an apple pie or something at night at 12.
You know, I saw Mr. Guajardo here at the Whataburger.
First day.
And
First guy to order.
Me tocó unos 4 apple pies and I don't know how
And
to
then
do
he was
that.
helping to direct traffic también.
Oh, directly, todavía, todavía ahí.
So thank you
Good
for
deal,
doing
good
that.
deal.
You know, finally, Whataburger's here within San Juan. There's others that I'll discuss in executive session. And also, we're working on our fiscal year budget, which is right around the corner. We'll bring it at the next meeting for a workshop. Type of meeting, it's going to be something because I mean the budget is not that lengthy. But I'd like to maybe point out some things that I'd like to maybe make a recommendation on for this coming fiscal year. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that's all I have as far as on the director's report. Do you have any questions? Any of those?
Any questions from members of the board? Yeah. Coach? No? We're good.
Okay. The next one, under discussion of possible action, I don't know if who's here for the promotional PSJ football season sports. Anybody
Didn't
here?
make it, Mr. Juan.
No?
They didn't make it?
No. I called him, they said we're going to be here, but they didn't make it.
Okay, I'm going to skip number 1 because I know that's going to be a little bit lengthy. But if I can do number 3, discussion of possible action, if any, on approving the meeting grant for application information system solutions LLC. Is that person here?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna ask you, we forgot, part of the comments, right? Now that it's officially, applications already.
Yeah, all the paperwork should be in there, with the forecasting, the quotes, and the executive summary as well is in there. I'm open for any questions you might have.
You're renting, correct?
Yeah, I'm renting, correct.
Oh, that's it.
So thousands, just the next renting.
I mean, I'll take two, but it's up there for discussion.
After
I
you-
second the motion.
If you owned it, then yes, but unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the mini grant application for $1,000.
Second.
We got a motion, second by Mr. Garcia. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can hold it.
I guess with.
Is there with Ms. Martin?
Yeah.
I just get with her right now.
Yeah.
She's not gonna sign a check right now, but
Oh,
she,
Just make sure we have your info.
yeah.
The next one, which is under discussion and possible action on the downtown revitalization, I have Mr. John Pancras here to talk about some of the equities on the grant situation. This is why we leave these always open just in case there's something that comes up. So Mr. Pancras.
How's everybody doing today?
Okay.
Awesome. So last week on Friday, we met with the EDA, myself and Kelly from Meldon and Hunt, to kind of go over exactly what they would be willing to cover in that downtown revitalization plan. So things changed up a little bit, and I wanted to obviously pick y'all's brains and see what direction you guys want to go. So first off is the PWEAA, the grant that we're applying for is a rolling application, so no issues there. But there is going to be an issue should the EDC want to apply for the EDA grant for another item, whether it be the convention center or anything of the like. So, we first wanted to make sure that before we had Kelly start working on the specifics for engineering and environmental, that there was no other possible application in the works that we were going to shoot ourselves in the foot,
So let me just chime in here. So the reason that we're saying that as far as the EDA, if you recall, EDA only allows one project at a time, from start to finish. So what it's alluding to is that if we start one project, we cannot apply for another one until we actually finish it. Now, this one project may take a year, 2 years, depending on the size of the project.
Exactly.
So this is what he's saying, we need to be careful,
Get handcuffed.
whatever we choose, exactly, yes.
I don't want to shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah.
Okay.
So that
What
was.
are the options?
So there are a few options. So the EDA is more than willing to cover, anything that's on public right of way. So sidewalks, paving, all of that stuff is all good to go for EDA. But those are also items that could be possibly covered under other grants. So if the EDC wanted to go another direction for the grant, the PWEAA they call it, then we could still seek funding for the downtown revitalization elsewhere. There's the Safe Streets and Roads for All. There's
And how's
grants,
that, is the turnaround the same on those, time-wise?
So yeah, they're all pretty lengthy grants. Usually it takes about a year to get awarded or not, and then usually they're about 2 to 3 year project periods. So that's where we really want to just be sure the way we go about this is the way that EDC is looking, to plan for the future. So.
Is there a maximum on the?
Yeah, so the EDA grant, and this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. So the EDA grant, we talked to them, and they said that right now they're looking to fund max $2 million per project, and that's not including the match that the EDC would have to provide.
And what's the deadline for the EDA grant coming up?
It's a rolling application.
So that's
So right now we're in a good spot. They already awarded the previous fiscal years, so this is like the perfect opportunity for us to really decide where we want to go with EDA and buckle down and then actually submit and apply.
Does that have any ramifications with TxDOT or anything like that?
No, no, not really. So one of the things is that when we do the street, which is downtown revitalization, so what we're saying is we can always apply with somebody else as far as Safe Streets or other grants, just like the ones that TxDOT is going to be helping us out. So on the other token, side of the token is that he's saying that we can probably apply on this EDA on the conference center, because remember, EDA can help us out on anything that has to do with economic impact. So this is an economic impact that's going to provide to the city unemployment, and pretty much all of that. Sales tax is gonna go up, so they're willing to help us out at the maximum amount of $2 million. Now, there's gonna be a matching, what is that, 25% matching?
It depends. I believe San Juan is in the 20%, but it depends on the census
Right.
tracts too.
So one of the benefits on that is that we own the property, so that can be used towards
Collateral.
the matching, right? So if my recommendation, I mean, I'll recommend that because we're working on downtown revitalization. We have a lot more opportunities to save streets and other grants that are available. We're coming on those snowfalls. But this one is one at a time as far as the EDA. So if we were to move forward on the conference center, the recommendation is to maybe apply towards the conference center with this grant.
Later. Right, I
No,
mean,
yeah.
Sooner than
You
later.
would- yeah,
you're talking about
sure.
do it the,
Do it
Because
now.
so just.
you're more likely
basically-
to get the more bang for your buck with the conference center, multi-purpose center, whatever it may be. Because this downtown revitalization is huge. So, and that's one of the things about the EDA too, is that they like to get in and get out.
Right.
They don't want to be overseeing a long project. You know, if we submit for the downtown revitalization, the federal government is going to be now watching every step of the way, and they'd rather get in, get out, easier
A
for
quicker project than
yeah,
a long-term project.
easier for everybody.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When it comes, maybe not EDA, but other grants available that we could use towards revitalization, like for our other businesses in the area. Did you look into grants that
Yeah,
would
so,
help them to revitalize their business?
So, separate from the EDC grants that the EDC can apply for, I sent Ben and Martha the proposed grant newsletter for the businesses
Okay.
for the EDC to distribute out. And one of the items I had talked to Ben about was providing a grants workshop
Okay.
for the businesses.
businesses?
Whenever,
Great. That would be great.
whenever you guys would like me to, obviously, monthly or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's for the other businesses, but I did send Ben that information.
Yeah, because I told Mr. Cepeda talking about, like, how it's his building, so he looked at it with him. So he would do it on his own, we would just provide the
Exactly,
tools.
yeah.
And the owners would have to do it.
Exactly, and that's the whole gist of it. You know, a lot of the issues are that, you know, business owners don't have the time to look.
Right.
And
Somebody they don't know
find.
where to look.
Exactly, they don't know where to look. So the EDC will provide the information for them to move forward with whatever grant it is.
Grant, so we can get your grants, you know, we're gonna do that anyway, you know what I'm saying, but now we can get,
They'll provide the
separate.
tools, the information on the how-to,
That's
and then
really that big,
and then you do it on.
Those are upcoming grants that will be available to us as well, right?
Yes, yeah, he's gonna give you the information that will be available, and then he's proposing doing a workshop for the businesses. That way he'll show you all, you know, how to apply for it, you know, the necessary information. That way you can apply for it and go from there.
I'm all for it, thank you.
So there's gonna be a multi-function for grants available, because the Office of Vicente Gonzalez is gonna be here, and we're gonna take along with them. So it'll be Vicente Gonzalez offering some assistance, and then we're gonna do the rest as well.
Sounds good.
So yeah, and that's for the businesses, but just really quickly before I forget. So that was the issues with the EDA that they kind of brought up. The other issue was that if we did want to apply for downtown revitalization, this project, we're going to have a really hard time connecting without. So the Nebraska Genesis is what we've been focusing on, right? So from here on, and what our whole goal is to try and attract all of the people from the Basilica. And if we don't start, in EDA's mind, if we don't start over there on the highway by the Basilica, how does it connect if we're starting over here?
real quick, for the record, Lenny Sanchez has joined us. 6:20. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so that was the other issue he kind of brought up, not to say that we couldn't apply, but we would have a really hard time at connecting that. And, I mentioned, and he said, anytime we can talk to him, kind of pick his brain, but, I kind of mentioned, what if we did, a bus stop over there, that we did connect to a bus stop over here, kind of swing things that way. So Kelly and I are still kind of talking, kind of brainstorming, kind of figuring it out. If, you know, the EDC wanted to go EDA route for the Nebraska, we're gonna have a little bit of a harder time connecting the dots. Not to say that we
At
can't.
one point it was supposed to be a lot easier because of the fact that the city was gonna be responsible for all the way to the interstate. But then Texas came back and said, hey, we can help you all the way to,
283.
no, not 83, before First Street, which is the street that goes into the Basilica.
First Street, yeah, that's
So they're gonna help us up to the
That
lot there.
piece.
So what he's saying is it's gonna be challenging connecting from here all the way to the IH2 because it's gonna be somebody else's funding.
Well,
There and
they wouldn't really fund it because they wouldn't be able to see the connection of how we're pulling, you know, all of the people from Basilica from over here. So we could make the argument if we could, and this is one of the things that Kelly's working on for me. She's trying to break up the budget to see if there's any items that we could just specifically request on that side, you know, that we could make an application for if the EDC so chooses. So that's what she's working on right now. She's working on breaking up the budget for me so that we can then identify specific funding sources for each of the different parts of the
I know that
project.
one you mentioned is a rolling one. On these other new ones, is there a time frame?
Yeah, so the EDA is a rolling one. The Safe Streets and Roads for All, that's one that I've been working with Mr. Tijerina, trying to get that one started. And that one's a little bit different in that it's a two-part application, a two-part award. So the first award is a planning award, and you have to submit for that. And once you submit the planning award and you get awarded for that and you know complete that, then you apply for the construction part. And that's that's one of the grants. That one is due the end of August for the planning, and I'll be working with Mr. Tijerina to submit it under the city. So that, you know, then it can get the ball rolling and then can then apply for things, the next grants.
Do you have enough time from now to then to?
We should, it's a planning grant. They're not as, obviously as detailed as construction grants. You don't need all the, you know, all the detail, et cetera. But I am working with Mr. Tijerina to get that submitted so that we'll be prepared the next go around. Now the other one, the RAISE grant, that is due, they submitted, well, they made those deadlines already for FY25 and FY26, and I think it's January 15th, or it's mid-January for 2025 and 2026. So we have two submission possibilities for RAISE. And if Kelly, you know, Kelly has all that work that she's already done, and engineering and environmental wise, so we should be poised to use that same information for those submissions. As soon as I receive that, we'll be able to go through it and identify which, you know, goes with what funding. So, but that's the main thing, you know, whether or not the EDC wanted to move forward with the EDA for the downtown revitalization or the multi-purpose room. And really think about that, because you don't want to.
Right.
It's gonna take some time.
Right. And the other one is the multi-purpose that he's saying is that EDA really likes when it's a multi-purpose type of facility. Like in this case, it would be like an event, conference, maybe business center. Business center because of the fact that there's gonna be some suites up in the front, will be leased to businesses, and also we'll have the event in the conference center on it. So that'll be a good mixture for the EDA to say, you know what, it may be worth their while funding it.
They made a point, Robert, he made a point to mention that multi-purpose facility because he said that recently they have been funding, you know, more of those for the smaller entities. And San Juan is not the smallest, he says, but it's definitely considered one of the smaller ones. So we'd be able to kind of skirt by.
However we can get funding.
Yeah. So that was my report for you guys. Just, you know, some things to think about, ruminate on, and let me know. And I think this week Kelly and I, we're going to meet again just to see where she is with those breakdowns. So
Is there a ballpark from the time that you submit the application to you get an approval or?
usually
We're looking at months.
it takes some time. Usually, sometimes it's 8 months, sometimes it's a year.
So just so you know, the last time we applied for one of those EDA grants was for the Lexus, and it took about a little bit over 6 months.
To get the approval.
6 months.
It just depends on when you submit it. So if you submit it right when they're going to begin reviewing, you'll have a higher chance. But if we submit it, after they review, then it'll be in their, in their little pool, their pool of applications that they look at eventually for the next round, so.
But we can always go speak to Mr., what's his face, Ayala?
Yeah, that's right, Jorge.
Jorge Ayala. Up in Austin.
Same gentleman you guys met with.
Right.
Really big advocate for the valley, so. That's all I got.
Do we need to make a motion for it?
It was just,
No, take no action on it.
It's more information just so you guys can ruminate and then, let them know.
ultimately, our grants, you're still going after them just in different manners.
Yeah, so
To maximize what-
we're trying to make sure that we're maximizing everything and make sure that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot applying for this
And then
grant
you're not able to get another one.
and then it's, years before we're able to really complete the rest. And that's the other thing that we talked about, if we were to apply for this one, what would we apply for first? And obviously it would be the infrastructure, sewer, water, things like
And
that.
then you can't get another one until that's complete.
Oh, and that's the first step. So that's the first step that we would apply for, and then we would have to, seek funding elsewhere for the rest of the items on the construction. So just something to think about, and then we can talk again, next week or later this week.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you. So this one I would have to take no action on.
Take no action on this. Okay, executive session, Juan Economic Development Corporation will convene in executive session in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Government Statute, Codes, Annotated Government Code, Chapter 551.071, and Texas Government Code 551.087. And we'll be entering the executive session at 6:28. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We got a motion. We are back from executive session at 6:45 PM.
Motion to reconvene.
Second. Got a motion to reconvene, got a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're now in regular session. Go ahead, Mr. Miller.
Yes, under item A, which is the pursuant section 51071, conversation with attorney section 51087, economic negotiation deliberation regarding EDC real estate properties. I make a recommendation that you guys allow Ms. Lauren and myself to execute the contract as discussed in executive section.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Under item B, which is pursuant section 51087, economic development negotiations deliberation regarding financial incentives for the business prospect, the recommendation is to continue as discussed in executive session.
I'll make a motion to continue as discussed in executive session.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn.
Those two? Yeah.
Yes.
We have a motion to adjourn? We got a motion and a second. Meeting now concluding adjourned at 6:46 PM.